Greg from Park Journey here. Hope you're all doing all right. As you can see, we are here in beautiful Cabo San Lucas, Mexico on the Carnival Miracle. So I thought on our last day, or second to last day, I would bring you a tour of this ship. It is going to be repositioned at some point. So for those of you that are on the East Coast, you'll be, I think, maybe getting this ship back at some point next year. When I do the full narration back at home, I will talk a little bit more about that. So anyway, hope you enjoy this tour of the Carnival Miracle, and make sure you click below to subscribe to our channel. Alright everybody, so we're going to here start off on the Sun Deck, which is deck 10 of the Carnival Miracle. Just as right above the Lido deck where most of the activity on the ship happens. You can see here the water slides up here off of the sky deck kind of end up here on the Sun Deck. So let's head up first to the sky deck. And this is where you will see the water slides, the 2 water slides, and the splash pool. I did not partake in any of them. This is the second cruise we've done, and I've always had an intention to do the water slides and then just didn't get around to it. This was definitely a more relaxing cruise for us this time around. Didn't do any shore excursions or anything like that, and I literally got off the ship for about an hour the day before to get some vanilla and chocolate and Mexican Coke. So as you can see on this deck here, not too much to do other than making your way up to where the water slides are and getting a nice view of the tail. And then the dome here that you see, this is actually the Steakhouse where we had dinner on our last night on the ship. So looking down the 2-floor Steakhouse, very nice steakhouse, very nice meal that we had there. A little bit more on that later. And just a quick walk around the sky deck, deck 12. This would be the aft side of the sky deck. As we look around into Cabo. As you can see as well, this would be a nice area to just kind of chill away from basically everybody else. Yes, this was a shore day, so a lot of people were off the ship, but this was the second of 2 days in Cabo, so not as many people off the ship this day as the first day in Cabo. But this particular area of the ship was pretty empty for most of the cruise. And then back down on the Sun Deck, after checking out what is up there. This basically is the only way to get to the 2 sides of the sky deck, which is deck 11. So we're back on deck 10, which is the Sun Deck. And there you can have a look down at the Lido deck, deck 9, which is where most of the activity on the ship actually is. And again, we'll get back down there in a minute. And if you see me walking around on this tour and I'm kind of pointing the camera in a different direction, it's because I don't typically like to show people as I'm doing these, you know, whether it's a ship tour or a, you know, theme park update. I typically try to avoid, you know, showing just people relaxing and enjoying their day. So if you see me kind of pointing the camera towards Cabo or anything, that's pretty much why. I figure it's just common courtesy. I would hope that people would do the same for me. So let's head up to the forward side of the sky deck, which is the sports deck. And here you will see they have the mini golf. They have the jogging track, which I did go for a run the previous day as we were pulling into Cabo, still at sea. So I did go for a run on the deck. I did a couple of miles, but according to my GPS, I almost set a world record for my mile pace because the ship was moving. So that was kind of funny. I'll just throw up a picture of that here. You can see my pace and everything. It was pretty funny. But you can see here we've got two sides of the mini golf. The stairs there will go back down to the sun deck on that side. Also a basketball court here. They also did have other activities in this area. There was like a kick soccer thing as well. But a lot of the teenagers here playing basketball all day, and obviously for obvious reasons they have a net all around the basketball court there. I would assume they would lose a lot of basketballs if they didn't have that. And then in this area you can see more of the mini golf on both sides of the track here. And it was quite interesting running on this track. It felt like I was simultaneously running up and downhill. The wind, obviously the track is not very big. So each lap I got to get the tailwind and the headwind, which is it was kind of a unique experience. So if you are a runner, or if you're not, I do recommend trying it at least once. It's kind of fun. And then we'll head down to the back down to the sun deck, and we'll head towards the forward of the ship. So we've got some really nice views as we head towards the front of the ship, also known as the forward. Lots of people just kind of taking a lap around the sun deck, which is probably the easiest of the decks to kind of do a little walk around if you don't want to just go in circles around the track. It's pretty quiet for the most part on the sun deck, and it is the deck that has, you know, the most amount of flooring, open space, so to speak. And then basically on the other side of these windows here, you also have the fitness center. As you can see, you can kind of see through the windows there, the gym and all of the machines. I didn't go into the gym itself, but I'll show you where you can actually access the gym if you are going to be sailing on the Miracle. And then just on the sun deck here, and the internal part here, not really too much here. You've got your elevators that go down to all of the other levels, to the rooms. There's only 2 elevators that actually come all the way up to deck 10, so keep that in mind. This is where you will also find the Club O2. I didn't obviously go in there. There's kids activities and stuff going on in there, so I didn't really feel like I needed to go in there, but that's where it is. If you are bringing kids on the ship, that is where the Club O2 is. And then let's head out back around to walk towards the aft side of the sun deck. So again, down there is the Lido deck, and as you can see, not too many people, even on sea days, weren't a whole lot of people out in this part of the ship. Very quiet, which is kind of nice. If you're going on a cruise to relax, it's always nice to find those quiet areas where you can just kind of chill and read a book or whatever. And this is definitely that spot on this cruise. I don't think our cruise was fully sold out, and it's not our large one. It's not one of the larger ships in the fleet, so to speak. So it was pretty chill for the most part. During our cruise, which was nice, which was exactly what we were looking for this particular cruise. Just a nice chill time. And then over here to the right on deck 10, you will find the entrance for the Steakhouse. So the Steakhouse entrance, if you are going to be partaking, it is on the 10th floor of the Carnival Miracle. We'll head in just a quick look. It's pretty pink during the day due to the the skylight, but during the evening it's it's very lovely, very nice setting. And we actually got a table which is to our left of the shot, right along the window there for our Steakhouse dinner. And then they've also got these little cabanas. There's a lot of these in the adults only area, but there's also a few here on the sun deck, which is for anybody. So these were pretty much open the entire time. We didn't have any issues, finding open seating. I think the last sea day, the Serenity deck, the adults only area, was the busiest that we had seen it. But we spent most of that day inside playing trivia and having some fun. And then as you can see, the green slide there ends on the sports deck, and then the yellow slide here ends up on the sun deck here, and then you basically have to just climb right back up to the deck 11 there to get on the water slides. So here we are heading down to the Serenity area, which is the adults only area, 21 and over. They've got cabanas, they got a pool, they got a spa, they got a bar. There's Mrs. Park Journey making a quick little cameo as she's doing her puzzles, I'm being the nerd that I am. You can also get your towels and everything if you're going swimming, and then we'll head into Horatio's, which is basically the food court of the Carnival Miracle. This is where you get all of your food, your breakfast buffet, lunch buffet, dinner buffet. I'll be honest, we are pretty much restaurant people. When we're on cruises, we like to do the restaurant for breakfast and dinner, and then we'll typically just have a light lunch, the deli or a salad bar or something like that. This morning we actually did miss breakfast by about 5 minutes, so we did have to do the breakfast buffet, which was decent, wasn't too bad. Lots of different options there. And then obviously the first day of the cruise, when you're boarding, the restaurant is not open. All of this is available. We did the guys' burgers, and I think one day, I want to say the previous day, we did do the tacos and the blue iguana as well. So we would typically just have something light for lunch, and in between our nice dinners, we tried to do the nice dinners. And on this cruise, we did, as I mentioned, we did do the steakhouse, and we also did do the chef's table, which I'll get into a little bit later as well. So on the outside of the Lido deck here, on the left here, you have Guy's Burgers. The previous cruise that we did in 2019 on the Splendor, we did not have a Guy's Burgers. They were not on that ship at that point. And I don't remember, I don't think they were on any of them at that point, or maybe just a few. So this was our first time having it. It was decent. It was really good burger. So that's what we had for our first lunch there on day one of our cruise before we even left Long Beach. You also have they also had a towel making contest or towel making demonstration, which is great. You can see all the towels there. So if you don't know, in your rooms, when they come to clean them, the cabin stewards will make towel animals, which are kind of fantastic. And then we'll just head down further into the Lido deck. One of the two bars here is here, and then the other one is on the other side. The rum bar and the tequila bar. So as I was doing this tour and entered this particular area, I realized that I hadn't actually walked on this part of the ship yet, and this was the fourth day. And then I quickly remembered that this is the smoking area, so that's why I hadn't actually walked on this. Not a fan. So here on the Lido deck here, this is where you will find the spa, Cloud 9, and this is also where you will find the entrance to the gym in this particular area. So they got the Cloud 9 salon, you got the Cloud 9 spa, obviously you've got your elevators, and then you've got your gym entrance here. So if you're getting any kind of massage or beauty treatment or anything like that, this is where you're gonna go. And as you can see here, the fitness center is also on this floor. So it's actually a 2-level fitness center here on the Carnival Miracle. And this deck does extend a little bit further out than the Sun deck, which we were just on deck 10. Alright, and so we'll continue here on the other side, the flip side of the Lido deck here, the secondary pool. More dining locations. There's a lot of dining locations here on the ship. For a ship that's not quite as large as some of the others, there's a lot of nice seating areas, lots of window seating, both inside and outside, so whatever you're comfortable with. And then here on the left is the tequila bar. And then the main pool here as well, which again, we never really saw it that busy, which was kind of nice. And then we'll just head over to the other side here. This is the Blue Iguana, and then they also have a salsa bar, so you can get your tacos and your burritos and everything there. And then as we head inside, this is just the other side of the Horatio's, which is all of your buffet food. So I'm not going to walk through this side again. You've already seen it. Let's go ahead and take a ride down the glass elevator all the way down from floor 10 to floor 2. Here you can see the entire atrium of the entire ship as we go down. And from what I understand, a lot of the newer ships don't have these glass elevators. So I really, the two that we've cruised on have had these glass elevators, and I really do enjoy them. So I don't know if that's really true, but we're planning on taking a cruise on one of the newer ships next year, the Sirens, as it comes out here to Long Beach. We're going to do a quick 4-day just to check out the new ship when it does come out here. So here on deck 2, we are basically in one of the main hubs of the ship. This is the Promenade deck. So you can see here it was decorated for the holidays. And this floor on this side here, we have the lobby bar, or the Atrium bar. We also have guest services and the excursions desk. So this is where you can book any Carnival excursions if you have not done that previously. You can see here they did a nice little gingerbread village for the holidays. I don't even have the patience to do a gingerbread house, let alone an entire gingerbread village. So I was pretty impressed with that. So here is the Alchemy Bar, a pretty popular place at night, as this was basically kind of the waiting area for the main restaurant. So on the formal night, we actually came in here and had a nice drink before heading to the restaurant. I got a nice old fashioned, and my wife got some kind of Christmassy drink. Going back to the Frankenstein's Lab, we'll get back into there in a minute when we talk about our chef's tables. So it was not open during the day, but we actually did get to go in there during our chef's table experience. So here is the main restaurant here, kind of continuing the literary theme of the ship here. I didn't go too far into it, again, because they're setting up for the next meal, and I didn't want to have, you know, some random person just walking around when you know, they're trying to set up and, you know, getting clean plates and stuff out. So here's a really good look at the Atrium Bar, guest services, and the excursions desk. And then, as you can see here, just a lot of really nice seating areas here, where you can just kind of grab a drink, grab a coffee, chill, and relax. Here we're heading into the casino. You know, I will say that I'm still kind of shocked that they kind of are still catering to smokers. We, you know, did like kind of coming into casino and playing some games and did win a little bit. We would have done much more if it was just a cloud of smoke as you walk through here. So, you know, I'm not. It's 2023, almost 2024. You know, it's time for casinos and ships to stop kind of catering to smokers. Let them smoke somewhere else, as far as I'm concerned, because we would have spent more time in here if it wasn't for that. And then heading into this area here, this is the one of the lounges. This is where they did most of the trivia for the ship. You also have some computers on the left here where you can check your plane information, check you know, your Carnival information. There's also a couple of kiosks in that area for adding money to your ship and or your sign and sail. We'll head into the Skybox Sports Bar. I was going to steal the Joe Montana thing, but I would not have gotten away with it. I will say I was a little disappointed on the first night we were in the cruise. We wanted to come down and watch the LA Kings game, and they basically told us that they couldn't get the channel. So I thought that was kind of odd that a sports bar couldn't get the channel. They basically had a bowl game on, a Chicago Blackhawks game, and two of the TVs were on a college game that took place, I think, in November. It was Georgia and somebody else, and it was during the day, and it definitely was not live. So I was kind of disappointed in that, to be honest. And this is the Red Frog Pub here. A nice little area. They did a couple of the trivia contests in this area as well. I think the cartoon trivia was in here, we did, and a couple of others. Really great bartenders, really fantastic there. And then a nice little photo op. And then we'll kind of head back through here. This is the coffee bar. So if you want your specialty coffees, and then, as I mentioned, that area there to the right is where they did most of the trivia throughout the cruise. Really fun times, really fun trivias. We did Lord of the Rings trivia, which I actually won. We did Friends trivia. We did movie music trivia. We did all kinds of stuff. So really fun activity for the ship, and really a great crowd of people to go in and play the trivia contests. And then on the right there's the Phantom Theater. That is the main theater. I didn't go in during our tour because they were preparing for something, so I didn't want to interrupt. So I'll throw up some pictures of the theater here as well. And then one of the coolest things that we actually found on this ship was very out of the way. It's called Gatsby's Garden. And it's basically this little walk-through thing, very quiet. Just basically a couple people here reading books. And it's just this little path that it goes around the entire Phantom Theater, and just a really quiet spot. So if you're looking for a nice quiet spot to just relax and read a book, or do some puzzles on your iPad like my wife does, or whatever, a really great quiet spot, very out of the way, but really cool as well. So it looks like it kind of wraps around the entire stage there, which is kind of cool. I'm assuming they kind of use some of this for, accessing backstage of the theater, but the stage is actually one level down. But it's kind of a kind of really cool, weird, out of the way area, which I kind of like stuff like that. Hope you do too. And this is located on the Atlantic deck, which is deck 3, basically at the entrance to the Phantom Theater. So if you're looking for it, that's where it is. So let's go through one of the other lounges. Is the Gotham Lounge. Again, lots of really nice areas to just kind of chill. Over here on the right, we do have the arcade, which is called the Warehouse. I wasn't planning on going in here because, again, I figured there'd be a lot of kids in here playing, but there wasn't. So I could kind of come in and show you the arcade. Pretty typical, pretty straightforward arcade. You've got your video games. You've got your games where you can get tickets and win prizes. So we didn't spend too much time in here, but pretty typical arcade there. And there's your prize hub there. It's pretty much all automated at this point. And I will say too, this was our first cruise since 2019, so we didn't cruise for 4 years. We were supposed to go on a cruise in 2020, which obviously didn't happen for obvious reasons. I will say I was very impressed by the way that you always constantly saw somebody cleaning. Wherever you went, cleaning the railing, cleaning the windows, cleaning the doors. Felt very secure, very safe for the most part. I did wear my mask when I went into Cabo just because I wanted to be as safe as I could. Like I said, I was only there for about 45 minutes anyway. But other than that, we felt pretty safe here. And I like the new requirements that they do with the dining, where you can check in on the app and you select whether you want to sit with other people or sit by yourselves, which we sat by ourselves pretty much the entire time. But even going down and doing the shows or doing bingo or doing the trivia, no anxiety, nothing like that, which was kind of nice. Although I will say, as soon as we got home on Christmas Eve, we did test negative so far. But it's always good to just still be safe. Over here we are looking at the picture studio. So unlike some of the newer ships, they are still using the old style of picture studios. This ship has not gotten that upgrade yet. I don't know if it will get that upgrade prior to heading to the East Coast next year. But basically you still have to come in and find all of your pictures. We didn't get any pictures this particular cruise. We didn't really care for the way most of our pictures kind of turned out. So, but they do have some nice displays on elegant night and on casual nights, and they'll take your pictures in the restaurants and things like that. So you can come in and do that. As you can see, everything was pretty much closed. We were at port, so all the shops and everything was closed because they want you to shop off the ship while you're at port. Here's a nice look at the atrium there and the Christmas tree, and again the guest services there on the left and the excursion desk right there as well. So just a really nice atrium there, very nicely decorated for the holidays. And then as you come around the corner, there is the main desk here for the photo. You can also, if you need to buy a GoPro for some reason, you can buy a GoPro here as well. And then outside of the deck 3, this is basically where you board the ship and debark the ship in Long Beach. This is also where most of the muster stations are located. So just keep that in mind. If you are going to be cruising on the ship, the muster stations are all on deck 3. And then there's also a second level for the dining room. We did the My Time dining, so our entrance was always on the second floor, but if you do have these set times, your entrance would have been on the second deck. All right, so this is a look at our room. We did get one of the extended balcony rooms. We got a balcony on our first cruise in 2019. Loved it. We love having our coffee out on the balcony every morning, and I don't think I will ever be able to do another type of room in a cruise. I don't know if I could ever do an interior room. We love having our balcony, so I think we kind of spoiled ourselves that first trip, and we will always have spoiled ourselves now. So rooms were pretty decent, lots of closet space. TVs are small as always on a cruise ship. But we got into the rooms about 1:30, not bad. And here's a nice view from our balcony there during one of the sunsets on our cruise. That was one of our favorite things. One of the other things I'll mention is it took us a couple of days to realize that there is a literary theme to the Carnival Miracle. So you can see all of these little literary characters on the floors where all of the rooms are. I don't know what that has to do with the Miracle, but it was kind of a nice little touch there. So we've got Don Quixote and 3 Musketeers, even Frankenstein moving into our dinner here for the chef's table. It was in the club, and Frankenstein fits. So speaking of our dinner, we did the chef's table on our second to last night. We used our onboard credit for this. It was pretty fantastic, to be honest with you. We're not really adventurous people when it comes to food, but we decided we wanted to do this and be adventurous and try everything that they put in front of us, and we did, and it was an absolute fantastic experience. This was the chef's taste, our first course here, which was a hazelnut cookie and some pork belly and some sesame olive sponge. Fantastic. This bread, I am a huge bread person. This was the best bread I think I've ever had in my life. So good. Really fantastic. This was the duck course, which had a North African spice course there on the left, the duck confit leg, and then the parsnip, which was all fantastic. This was like a surf and turf where they used some lobster bisque sphere and beef tea and onion soup. We didn't get really the surf and turf from this, to be honest with you. This was the one course that we didn't kind of get, but still really good. The beef tea was really excellent. This was our sea bass course. I'm not a huge fish person. This was probably my favorite of the courses of our chef's table dinner. Absolutely fantastic. Highly recommended. This was our lamb course, which had the smoked lamb. That is a lamb pastrami there that you see, and then some edamame. I'm sorry, and some radish. And then here is the smoked lamb, which was absolutely heavenly and fantastic. Really good. Next, we've got our prime New York strip steak. It was a little too well done for us, but the sweet potato mash, I'm not usually a fan of sweet potatoes. It was really good. And then the parsnip in the middle. And this is our first dessert, which was the patisserie art. You can see all of the different, I think that red thing, it kind of reminded me of like a fancy fruit roll up. And then for my wife, it was her birthday the following day. So they did do a little happy birthday for her on hers. And then our last dessert course was the mignardises. I don't know, some custard tart, raspberry licorice, and some chocolate, almond chocolate. It was absolutely fantastic. So before I wrap up here, as I'm wrapping up here, our tour of the Carnival Miracle, just a quick little time lapse of one of our sunsets. I think this was the second night on the ship. So this is actually looking out on the Pacific as we were making our way down to Cabo. We had an absolutely fantastic time on the Carnival Miracle. We really did like the ship. I mean, we liked the Splendor that we did in 2019 as well. So we've now done 2 cruises. Both of them have been on ships that are, you know, a little older. I think the Splendor was 98, and I think the ship was built in 2003. So we definitely did see some similarities between both. Some of the the colors and the palettes and things are, obviously not as modern as some of the newer ships. Obviously, we don't have any coasters or anything like that on the Miracle, but we did really enjoy it. We did really enjoy our ship. As I mentioned, we are planning on doing a quick 4-day sometime in the spring on the Sirens once it comes out to Southern California, just to check out the new ship. And then after that cruise, we are going somewhere we've never done. So we've now done 2 Mexico cruises, and then that'll be a 3rd one. But even though that one is going to go to Ensenada, so we haven't been to Ensenada, so that'll be something new. And then after that, we are definitely going to the East Coast or Texas and trying something new. Thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed our tour of the Carnival Miracle.